Detective Lucas Ward had seen his fair share of murders. The brutal, the senseless, the calculated. Each case took a small piece of his soul, and as years passed, he grew numb. But when he was called in to investigate the disappearance of a young woman named Lila Collins, Lucas felt something stir inside him. Something he hadn't felt in years: guilt. It was supposed to be a routine missing person case. Lila, a 25-year-old office worker, had vanished without a trace. Her apartment was pristine, too pristine. The door locked from the inside, no forced entry, no signs of a struggle. It should have been an easy case, the kind Lucas solved every week. But as the days dragged on, Lucas felt the case slip through his fingers, like sand in the wind. He was no longer chasing facts, he was chasing ghosts. Every time he thought he was closing in, the leads vanished, slipping away before he could grasp them. Her family, her friends, her co-workers, everyone seemed to have an alibi, and no one had anything bad to say about her. Her disappearance didn't seem to be important to anyone, except Lucas. It was a week later when the phone call came. Detective Ward, the voice on the other end was soft, trembling. "I know where she is." Lucas felt a chill run down his spine. He grabbed his jacket, his breath quickening. "Where?" The caller didn't say another word. They hung up and the line went dead. A wild drive later, Lucas arrived at an old, abandoned building on the outskirts of town. The air felt stale, like it hadn't been disturbed in years. The only light came from his dimming flashlight as he stepped into the darkened doorway. Inside he found Lila. She was tied to a chair, her body battered and bruised. She had clearly been there for days, her body frail, her face a swollen mask of fear. "Detective," her voice was barely a whisper. "He's one of us." The words sent an electric shock through Lucas. One of us? But how could it be? No, that was impossible. Lila had been talking about someone from the department, someone Lucas knew well. His mind screamed, not possible. But there was no time to deny it. Lucas had to act. As the hours dragged into days, Lucas felt the walls closing in. Whoever had done this was still out there. But it wasn't just about Lila anymore. It was bigger, much bigger. The deeper Lucas dug, the clearer the path became, and the more chilling the truth grew. Every lead seemed to point back to one person, Detective Stephen Marks. Lucas' stomach twisted as he uncovered the evidence. Marks had been Lila's last known contact. He had been the one who'd filed the missing persons report, yet the more Lucas looked, the more his blood ran cold. Mark's history of unsolved cases began to take form. Murders, disappearances, and strange coincidences, all connected by a single thread: Stephen Marks. Lucas stood in the darkened precinct office, staring at the file. Marks had been hiding in plain sight all along. He'd been the one pulling the strings, using his position to cover up his tracks. The partner he trusted, the man who'd worked by his side for years, was a monster. A killer. Suddenly, the silence of the room was broken by a phone call. But this time, it wasn't anonymous. Lucas, the voice on the other end, was unmistakable. It was Stephen. The calmness in his voice sent a chill creeping down Lucas' spine. "You're getting too close, aren't you?" Stephen said, his voice dangerously calm. "I'm giving you one chance to back off. Meet me at the old warehouse. I have something to show you." "Stephen," Lucas said, his heart hammering in his chest. "I know what you've done. It's over." "No," Stephen replied, his voice darkening. "It's never over." The line went dead. The warehouse smelled of decay, damp wood, and dust. Lucas could barely breathe as he entered, the weight of the situation pressing down on him. His flashlight swept through the darkness, illuminating the towering shelves and stacks of crates. Every step he took felt like it was echoing in his bones, too loud, too slow. He wasn't alone. Then he saw him. Stephen was standing in the shadows, a silhouette against the pale light filtering in from the broken windows. "Lucas," Stephen's voice was low and dangerous, like a snake coiled and ready to strike. "I didn't want it to come to this, but you've left me no choice." "What the hell is going on, Stephen?" Lucas demanded, his gun now drawn, but his hand trembling. "Why are you doing this?" Stephen's laugh sent a cold shiver down Lucas' spine. "You really don't get it, do you? You've been chasing shadows, Lucas. I'm not the villain here. You are. Lucas narrowed his eyes, his mind racing. What the hell are you talking about? I had no choice, Steven said, stepping out of the shadows, his face now illuminated by the weak light. You were too weak. You always followed the rules, played by their game. But me? He shrugged, his smile cold. I wasn't going to let them destroy me. So, I took matters into my own hands. Steven's eyes gleamed with a madness Lucas had never seen before. You've been killing people, Steven, Lucas said, his voice thick with disbelief. You've been orchestrating all of this, pulling the strings. You even murdered Lila. Steven didn't flinch. You think I did it alone? No, Lucas, we did. You were part of it too. You just didn't realize it. All that time we worked together, all those years we spent chasing down criminals, you were too blind to see it. Lucas could feel his world spinning. He wanted to believe it wasn't true, that Steven was just playing him, but every piece of evidence, every thought he had pushed aside, came crashing into his mind. Suddenly, a loud bang rang out. Lucas spun around, his heart racing, but the room was empty. Another crash. Louder. Closer. Who's there? Lucas shouted, his grip tightening on his gun. A figure emerged from the darkness, but it wasn't Steven. It was a shadowy figure, wearing a hood, face hidden in the blackness. And in that moment, Lucas knew he wasn't just dealing with Steven anymore. They were both being watched. Before Lucas could react, the figure lunged at him, knocking him to the ground. His gun skidded across the floor. Get off me! Lucas shouted, scrambling to push the attacker away. The figure hissed. You think you're the only one who's been watching? You're nothing but a pawn in this game. Lucas felt his pulse race. Panic was rising. He was outnumbered, outgunned, and surrounded by enemies he didn't fully understand. But then, the warehouse doors slammed open, and the blinding headlights of a squad car pierced the darkness. The figure hesitated. Backup's here. Lucas shouted, struggling to break free. The figure froze, then vanished into the darkness, leaving Lucas alone with Steven. The following days were a blur. Steven was arrested, but there was more to the story, far more than anyone had anticipated. Lucas felt as though the truth was a spider web, each new twist and turn leading to more deception, more lies. And yet, even after everything, Lucas couldn't shake the feeling that he wasn't done, that there was someone else involved, someone even more dangerous lurking in the shadows. The case had broken him. He had stopped trusting everyone, even himself. And as he walked away from the precinct for the final time, he realized there would always be another mask to uncover. Follow and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.